Hi there and welcome. I'm really glad you're here. This is Introduction to OBD2 and Electronic Vehicle Diagnostics, a course that has been running strong for almost 20 years. Back when we started, this course was designed specifically for experienced mechanics, people who knew engines inside and out but were starting to come to grips with all new electronics and onboard diagnostics showing up in modern vehicles. And wow, things have changed since then. Over the years, this course has been taken by hundreds of learners, from seasoned professionals to DIY enthusiasts. Over the years, this course has been taken by hundreds of learners, from seasoned professionals to DIY enthusiasts. It's evolved with technology covering everything from the basics of OBD2 to real-world diagnostic strategies that you can use in your home or workshop. And now, for the first time, the entire course is available here on YouTube completely free. That means that anyone, anywhere can get access to this knowledge on demand. So whether you're just starting out or you're a veteran wanting to brush up on your skills, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit subscribe and give the video a thumbs up if they help you out, or drop a comment or question. I'm always keen to hear from fellow learners and techs. Introduction to OBD2 and Electronic Vehicle Diagnostics. We will cover the following scope points during this course. Electronic Vehicle Diagnostics. Under this, we'll cover automotive buses, electronic communication basics, and electronic control units. Under diagnostic scanners, we will cover DTCs, live data, actuations, adaptations, service resets, coding and programming, key coding, and chip tuning. Under OBD2, we will look at the history of OBD2, DTCs, DTC formats, communication protocols, OBD2 modes, freeze frame data, pending DTCs, monitors, and readiness tests. For the advanced part of the course, we will recap on how engines work, we will look at how faults are detected, we will look at the monitoring of signals, we will define circuit faults, and we will look at drivetrain layout. We will also look at system diagnostics, fault codes in general, and then finish off with a general summary. Electronic Vehicle Diagnostics. We will start by looking at electronic communication within a vehicle. We'll then look at communication between the vehicle and a scanner, and then we'll look at the diagnostic scanners themselves.
Electronic control units, ECUs, are used in modern vehicles to control and monitor vehicle operations. Different names are used to describe ECUs depending on the manufacturer. Below are examples of different terms used to describe the engine controller: ECM, PCM, etc. Do not get too caught up on the specific terms used, as they vary from manufacturer to manufacturer. Rather, pay attention to each vehicle and system as you perform the diagnosis. This is a typical ECU schematic. This shows an engine controller. However, it can be any ECU. ABS, transmission, or suspension will have the same layout. All ECUs will have input from some sensors. The input from the sensor will be analyzed by the control unit, and it will use the data to decide on the output, which will be used to control the actuator. In the case of the engine controller, the input may be, for example, from a MAF sensor, which will be an indication of engine load, and this will be used by the engine controller to control the actuators, which may be the fuel injectors or ignition timing. Automotive buses and vehicle communication. Automotive buses describe the method used to transmit electronic control signals between controllers in a vehicle. An automotive bus is defined as a multiplex wiring system, which reduces wiring by transmitting and receiving multiple signals over the same signal bus. The multipurpose bus replaces individual wires performing the same function. Automotive buses are basically defined by their speed, Class A being 10 kilobits per second, Class B 10 to 125 kilobits per second, and Class C 125 to 1 megabits per second. Class D systems may be faster. Examples of automotive buses: emissions and diagnostics. These buses handle emissions and diagnostics information. Mobile media. These buses handle mobile media equipment information. X-by-wire. X-by-wire is the collective term for the addition of electronic systems into the vehicle to enhance and replace tasks that were previously accomplished via mechanical and hydraulic systems. For example, drive-by-wire. The SAE J1815 bus is a Class B protocol developed in 1984. It has two forms: a two-wire 41.6 kilobit per second pulse width modulated differential approach, and a single-wire 10.4 kilobit per second variable pulse width approach. This will be discussed in more detail under OBD2. Media-orientated systems transport is a multimedia fiber optic point-to-point network. The MOST bus provides an optical solution for automotive media and entertainment networks, for example video and CD. Local Interconnect Network, LIN, is used as an in-vehicle communication and networking serial bus between intelligent sensors and actuators. LIN bus is a Class A protocol. CAN, Controller Area Network. CAN is implemented on most new vehicles. A vehicle may have one or more CAN bus implementations. A low-speed Class B CAN bus may operate window and seat controls, while a high-speed Class C CAN bus may be employed for engine management or brake control. CAN bus will be discussed in more detail later in the course. The OBD2 bus defines communications protocols and a standard connector to acquire data from passenger cars. OBD2 data is defined by the SAE J1979 standard. Communication between the car and the scanner. The Universal Asynchronous Receiver Transmitter. The UART controller is the key component of the serial communication subsystem. The UART takes bytes of data and transmits the individual bits in a sequential fashion. At the destination, a second UART reassembles the bits into complete bytes. This is basically an analog to digital converter. The working of an analog to digital converter is beyond the scope of this course. However, the diagram gives a brief description. You may want to research further online. Asynchronous transmission allows data to be transmitted without the sender having to send a clock signal to the receiver. Instead, the sender, the diagnostic tool, and the receiver, vehicle ECU, must agree on timing parameters in advance. In practice, special bits are added to each word, which are used to synchronize the sending and receiving units. Because asynchronous data is self-synchronizing, if there's no data to transmit, the transmission line can be idle. So, under normal conditions, the data pins on the diagnostic link connector do not transfer any information. The ECU must first be initialized in order to start communication.